Yeah.
Somebody's recording.
Somebody. Hope it's you.
It's a recording for you.
Hey, before
Okay.
I forget, do you care if I would you be interested if I could get one more person for the game show?
Okay, that means you have to
Or
like ask more people, but who would you want to get?
there's a friend of mine named Chelsea who used to work at GameStop, and she's actually really good at she has her own podcast. Like
Okay.
she's really
Yes,
good at talking
sure, why not?
and probably knows more than most of us about stuff, but I'm not really sure
Okay.
about old stuff. It'd be
Okay.
cool to have like, I don't know, what would this be the first woman on a game show ever?
Yeah, yes, it would be. First gorilla, first woman. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean,
Yeah, and she's
honestly,
from like Boston, so she's like, I'm wicked pissa. She
okay, that's
says
cool.
stuff like that. I
I
don't know. I
like
don't know if she'd say yes, but I just figure I'd ask before
yeah,
asking.
yeah, sure, ask. That's cool. Because I mean the like with Andrew, he might do it, but I don't think he cares that much about that one. So if we,
Yeah.
tweaked it
Well,
a
yeah,
little
he's
bit, it's probably
like,
not a
he pretty much said he didn't like play video games until like last year. So
yeah, but I haven't been playing them recently, so
yeah, but I mean, like when I was playing them in childhood, he kind of wasn't.
like you
I
said, Jeff
think
doesn't go past NES, right? Which I don't go. I have my weird DS bubble, right? But
I'm probably for the most part going to stick to 80s, but I didn't tell you that because that would be an unfair advantage if I told. Actually, I
um,
had to tell Jeff that just to get him to agree to do it.
yeah, so we can do that. Make it some '80s theme thing. Um,
But it wouldn't
let's see,
like
where
it
are
wouldn't
we?
be game show if there wasn't like a little bit of like needless cruelty. So, you
I
know.
don't think that'll be a problem. We can cover that. Okay, you want to get Meek
Let's get
tonight?
Meek.
Let's get Meek.
Inherit this earth. Let's go get this earth.
Yeah. Yes, it is Time Enough podcast where we talk about episodes of the Twilight Zone and beyond. This is Matt here. On the other end of the mic today is Markalik.
Hello.
Sorry, I was just trying to compress your name.
Meh. Just do
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Meh.
that's almost your
It's
catchphrase, right?
spelled MEH.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Meh.
Meh, meh. I think you gotta
That's
give it a
me.
little bit more of a meh.
Meh.
That's throat singing.
Now it's longer.
Yeah, that's a throat. That's how we throat sing for Christmas, as today's episode would suggest. I don't think this episode has any throat singing. Sorry, I actually the
Yeah, it
face
does.
you made, I literally thought you were starting to take a dump, like your podcasting chair is also your toilet.
No, I'm just adjusting myself for sitting down for 30 minutes.
Because that's what the serious podcasters do. You know, those guys that go
You
on for
mean
like six
serious
hours.
like SIRIUS or like like the serious is in SERIOUS?
Both. If you broadcast for serious, it's actually in the contract that you must podcast from a poop chair.
Good.
But
Good
those
for
dudes that
them.
do like the 6 hour long podcast, they gotta have that, right?
I'm
Or
pretty
they
sure that what they do is edit. Have you ever tried editing?
what's that?
I don't know. You tell
That's
me. You're the one who edits
right,
this
right.
podcast.
Hey, I don't have to edit shit unless someone says that crap. Now I have to do an edit.
Well,
Okay.
now you have to. Yeah, you just put on a piece of music and then you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's what you
Oh,
do.
oh, there we go. Yeah, it's
That's
like
editing.
right. That's like the phone music, like someone calls the business
No,
and they're
like
on.
the music that you insert of your music into all the podcasts you make.
Oh,
Remember?
okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, I usually wait until the end then. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't put it in like while you're recording it. You put it in after.
No, I like the idea in the middle of a podcast. Like I'm off to the can, and then you just start playing like elevator music for like 5 minutes. Okay. Anyway, we should move on to this episode, which is Night of the Meek.
Yeah, it's
I'll
Christmas.
I'll get yeah.
I don't feel like
Well,
we're very in the Christmas spirit considering this is Christmas.
yeah. Sorry, folks. It's kind of like making a podcast. It's a little bit of a stumper. It's like okay, we're airing 2 months before Christmas, which I guess the stores are starting to put out their stuff. Although I guess
But
Halloween's not quite finished, but
but this is the thing, unless society collapses, this podcast will exist for a much longer period of time after you record it than like during the time that it's current.
So hopefully you're hearing this around Christmas time, and I can say,
Yes.
"Give me your Christmas."
Yes, hopefully you timed it so that you binged this podcast and it's Christmas now.
Anyway, that's a little bit of the bugaboo. I'm like, well, I every week next episode, I can't like skip one and sit on it until it's Christmas time. So here we are talking about it.
Hmm, I bet you could. Or will
Now,
Apple delist you if you do that?
I don't know. The original air date was a little more Christmassy. It was December 23rd, 1960, which blew my mind a little bit because I remember the 80s, like the Christmas specials would be like late November and early December. And then when it was actually Christmas, like they stopped showing Christmas shows or
I
they
feel like
show Christmas
when,
reruns. They'd show this
yeah,
again, right?
well, they would, when it got to be actual Christmas, it was usually something like incredibly lame. Like, here's, I don't know, some chorus singing in front of a store or something.
Well, I'm talking
I
about
don't,
I'm talking about scripted TV shows. Like
yeah, I
when
mean,
we were
that's,
growing up, they'd be like way before Christmas, and then the week of Christmas, it was back to normal episodes.
I guess so. Maybe there was sort of an arms race
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm
get your
saying. Get earlier and
earlier
earlier,
thing.
keep the Christmas spirit going for longer. But yeah, this one's 2 days before Christmas, which makes sense. So
I don't remember. It's sort of like this thing where when you're a kid, the like peanut special and whatever were kind of special,
mhm.
yeah, so to speak, because but partly because those weren't series, they were just one-offs.
Yeah, and
But
you would go
then
looking like through the TV guide to when to snag that one, right?
but then certain shows would just do an episode, not maybe not every Christmas, but most of them, and then it turned into this thing where you're just like, oh, it's another one of these. Maybe it's good. It probably isn't as good as the other one. I mean, I feel like the last one that I really liked was American Dad, but I mean, they probably have done a few since the last time I watched
Yeah.
that show.
Anyway, yeah, when I was typing it, I was like thinking about like, Christmas episode timing. This one being pretty perfect, but me remembering a lot of shows being relatively imperfect in that regard.
I
If you want
bet
to get really
this
weird, you can
probably was. Sorry, go ahead.
they'll show the Saved by the Bell Christmas episodes in the middle of summer. It's great.
Yeah, I never really watched that show. I don't get it. It's
I
not.
mean, I'm sure they show other Christmas episodes in summer too, but that one in particular, like no one cares. They just put it on the TV so the preteens will shut up and watch it, right?
Yeah, was that the one where the girl did drugs and then she was excited and scared? That's the only one I know anything about.
Yeah. That's probably the most famous one. But anyway,
Christmas, right?
moving
Okay.
along with this one, your Chris Kringle in script writer form was Rod Serling.
Hmm.
Director Jack Smite moved on to helm some massive 70s films such as Airport 1975 and Midway, along with the wonderfully oddball Damnation Alley, which has, have you seen the poster for that one?
I feel like I have, but I've never seen the film.
It's the one with the apocalyptic death camper.
Cool.
Yeah, kind of like a 70s Megaforce, I guess, That's the impression I get. But yeah, I'll have to do it for the sci-fi one. It looks pretty whack.
Ooh, that is pretty cool.
I know. Art
Very orange.
Yes. Well, that's the apocalypse. That's the color of apocalypse, orange. Like
Hmm.
burnt umber, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, always with a lava. Yeah, I really thought I'd see a lot more lava than I have in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
seen any.
Well, you haven't. Well, you've only been through like you didn't live through that kind of an apocalypse. So
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen quicksand or lava.
we
Like
haven't
what?
had the we haven't had the lavacalypse yet.
Lavacalypse.
I was
Trademark that right now.
Art Carney is a legend of television. Of course, he was Jackie Gleason's chum Ed Norton on The Honeymooners, but he had plenty of guest spots as well in around 1960, as well as his own variety show. Later on, he'd make appearances in The Muppets Take Manhattan, The Last Action Hero, and his moment of triumph in the Star Wars Holiday Special. I think he was the guy trying to sell you stuff or sell Chewbacca's family stuff or whatever.
You know, it's my dirty little secret. I've never seen the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, now you got to watch it. Yeah, that's your Christmas show. Excuse me. That's your
Should I
Life
watch it
Day.
for
That's your Life Day.
Halloween?
No, you watch it for Life Day.
Okay. When's that?
I don't know. You make
Is
it
that like
Halloween if you want.
Chlorbop the 30,105th?
Yes. Well, you do have to spend time on Chewbacca's homeworld, Kashyyyk, so you get that.
Does he like take a person and crack them open and drink their guts
That would
for
have been special.
Christmas for Life
Nah,
Day?
nah. The Jefferson Starship just jams.
Was it just in Solo that they made it canonical that Wookiees eat people, or is that like
I
did that
feel
happen
like that's
before
where
that?
it's. I don't know. There's so many novels I didn't read, so
I think they only put it in there because that was like a remnant of the script that was good that they mostly get did away with.
yeah, yeah, maybe, yeah, yeah. I guess the Wookiees were supposed to be like super more violent and stuff earlier on, but there's teddy bears. They're Ewoks in the holiday special, basically, right? But
Hmm.
yeah.
Do you think
But
that is there a hybrid? Do you think they've mated?
what the Wookiees and who the
And the
Ewoks?
Ewoks.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, they're on different planets, so it'd be difficult.
I mean, but in Star Trek, there's all kinds of hybrids.
Yeah, and there's a
They're on
few.
different planets.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sure. We can
I'm
have a.
I'm Googling it and I don't see any.
They'd be the size of a normal person, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's
Okay.
how humans were born.
Mm,
Whoa.
I don't know what you found, and I probably don't want to.
I'm sorry, you're probably not done with trivia.
Oh, I just got one guy. I got John Fielder, who played Mr. Dundee, not the crocodile version. As you said before we started, it's like I know I recognize this guy from somewhere. Well, a few places you recognize him is juror number 2 in 12 Angry Men. He is the voice of Piglet in Ice in the Winnie the Pooh productions. I think probably the earlier ones. I think they've changed all the. Well, he's dead now, isn't he? Da-da-da-da-da.
Hmm.
Yeah, he hasn't done the voice of Piglet at least since 2005. Okay.
Well, now
Um,
Piglet's public domain, so anyone can be Piglet now.
I'm Piglet. Okay.
There you go.
I feel like I've seen this guy before. Might have been 12 Angry Men, or it might have been his role as Emil Peterson, who is from the Bob Newhart show. That would be my guess if you've seen that.
Yes, I
Okay.
have.
Yeah, that would you would have caught their Christmas episode on like syndicated TV in the 80s probably. So
You may be able to tell from my demeanor that I do really love Bob Newhart.
I was looking at text and not your demeanor, so I don't know what you were doing.
I mean, you could just guess. You could feel my aura through the internet.
Okay, you love Newhart.
How low it is, low effort,
Okay.
but cutting.
Now you're looking at a field of white. For Mark, this is your snowy holiday here.
Yeah, I know there was a field of white where it was TV in the 1960s.
Where did my TV go? Okay, Mark, will you give us the prologue, please? Let me make it slightly more readable. There we go.
Ho ho ho! This is Mr. Henry Corwin, normally unemployed, who once a year takes the lead role in the uniquely popular American institution, that of the department store Santa Claus, in a road company version of The Night Before Christmas. But in just a moment, Mr. Henry Corwin, Erstat's Santa Claus, will enter a strange kind of North Pole, which is one part the wondrous spirit of Christmas and one part the magic that can only be found in the Twilight Zone.
I feel like you're padding time. Like, oh no, this one's gonna be too short because what is there to say about Christmas, right?
It is going to be too short.
So that's why
that
he
that
was
was not predetermined. I actually forgot to think of anything before I started reading the thing, so I just
short circuited.
yeah, no, I just flew with it
Actually, here's a
like
fun
Santa
fact.
Claus.
Now this podcast, when I edit and render it is under the file name of the Twilight Zone. But my Sci-Fi podcast, it's still the files I edit and render still say short circuit because I haven't bothered to change it for 2 years now. So every episode is short circuit.
Oh God.
So when you heard Looper or Beneath the Planet Apes, it was on my computer as short circuit. I
It's
mean, I
like
changed it once.
somehow like you're trying to manifest a new short circuit movie.
Yes, exactly. I think maybe I am. That'd be fantastic. Now, of course, the movie that came to mind watching this was well, here's the thing with this episode. I've probably seen it before. It's definitely, it's one of those things you show around Christmas. And if you catch the Twilight Zone around Christmas, you're gonna see this or that special Rod Serling made like in what 66 or something. And I think there might be another Christmas episode in the zone, but I can't remember. But I'm sure we've seen this, but it kind of just, that mid-December, like I said, they start showing the reruns and they just kind of like glaze on your eyeballs. So
Hmm. I mean, I
um
vaguely remember this, but it's
isn't, isn't there a Christmas movie where like David Bowie's a Nazi or something?
I was thinking of the movie Christmas Evil, which I think is like a guy who hallucinates that he's Santa Claus, but then he like kills a bunch of people.
Okay. Anyway, this one felt like a really cleaned up bad Santa.
Yeah, that too. I think like
Like
there are part of why I said this will be a short episode is there's only really so much you can do with Santa Claus, especially if you're going to be respectful to the institution of capitalist Western Christmas. There just isn't that much. It's like I I always like to do as a thought experiment think of like what the most Twilight Zone possible version of this is, and even that would probably just be oh nothing actually really happened except the guy just like died and went into the void at the end. You know what I mean? Like the only way this could be more Twilight Zoney is like the bag wasn't real and Santa wasn't real and magic isn't real. Then he left. He went into the ether,
he'd be frozen and dead in the snow.
which isn't yeah. It's not that different than what happened.
Yeah.
Honest, the difference is people got a bunch of free stuff.
Yeah, you just need that. No, no, even after that, you just need the last shot of him dead in snow with a bag, right? Which
That's
I
true.
remember.
But no, but there's all this narration. There's all this stuff that happens when he's not there, which is like that's the big like immersion break that isn't usually in Twilight Zone episodes where someone else is like basically not breaking the fourth wall, but like bending it a little to be like, "Oh man, he gave me this brandy. It just came out of his bag. It was crazy." And then
Hmm.
then it's real because the show wouldn't show you someone if it was supposed to be ambiguous. They wouldn't show you someone saying
He wasn't.
things.
He wasn't. But asking questions to a gift horse in the mouth, right?
No, but that's why he's a likable protagonist.
He was like, "There's some brandy. That's awesome, right?"
Well, the biggest thing to me about this that makes Santa Claus what is it? I didn't even put his actual name down. What was the character's name? It was like what was his name?
Oh, geez,
His real name.
the
Santa
actor,
Claus. I'm just gonna call him Santa Claus. No, the character.
Henry Corwin. You just said the name by the way
Corwin.
because you read the
Did
prologue.
I?
So yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, the prologue went away, so then it left my memory.
that's okay. I made a quick
Uh
rush to wiki to double check.
Corwin.
Yeah.
The thing that I would argue that the number one thing that makes Corwin a likable protagonist, and this is sort of unrealistic, but not entirely unrealistic, is that he didn't immediately just go into an alley and then pull a bunch of booze out of the bag and just drink. You know what I mean? Like that's
See,
I'd
that's what Billy
say
Bob Thornton would do.
yeah, that's what a lot of people would do. A lot of people who genuinely do consider themselves generous would be like, can't, I'll give people stuff later. Right now, I gotta take a bunch of brandy out of this bag and drink all of it. But he didn't drink anything.
Would have been
And
more Twilight Zone if he was giving brandy to all the children.
yeah.
Kids are holding the bottles, like looking at it, like what?
And then he just gets mad at them, like, shut up. That's good brandy. I wish I was drinking it, but I have to go beat Santa Claus.
Come on, little girl, man up and have a swig.
You drink because I can't. I have to fly a sleigh.
What? That's not going to stop him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to live in the North Pole now. He's going to have to like double time on his consumption.
But this is the big thing is that we we see Rod Serling's like humanist streak again, which is really kind of forward thinking because I don't know about you, but I really didn't start seeing people talk about this until maybe 5 to 10 years ago. I mean, of now in 2020s, which is that a lot of people just drink because they're sad.
Yeah.
It's not because they're a crappy drunkard. It's because they're in a bad situation and they're sad, so they drink a lot. And if they just magically weren't sad anymore, then they probably wouldn't drink so much.
So you're assuming that becoming Santa Claus has sobered him up, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, he did
Okay.
look pretty drunk when he was flying off on that sleigh at the end. But, he probably still, unless he got some Santa metabolism, which I also believe was the case, because remember when he was being detained by the police and he's suddenly like, well, I don't know. He suddenly became really articulate and it was just like, I don't know. It seems like some kind of contraption. I'm like, how, what? Like he was talking just 5 minutes earlier, like, you know what I mean?
He's having his
Like,
moment of clarity. He sobers up quick. They gave him a coffee.
I think he got magical Santa metabolism. That's what I want to believe.
Oh, okay.
Like Captain America or something, or Hulk, or both.
That's the other movie, more modern movie that came to mind, which is the Santa Claus. Not as much because I never
Mm,
watched it, but
me neither.
it's that's the general idea. Except he's like a family man who like he does get the Santa metabolism where he starts to get fat because you know why is Art Carney even a mall? I guess that must be like a really like Skid Row department store because they've
I
hired a drunk that doesn't look like Santa.
I get the feeling that he just like you are a Santa and you just keep doing Santa. It's like a thing where I can't explain it. I don't know why he's like he can't have been that bad the year before, right? Maybe
I
he's
don't
just been
know.
drinking the whole year between Christmases.
But that's my well, yeah, probably. That's my whole point with Bad Santa, right? Like how I mean Billy Bob Thornton was supposed to be working there for some time, right?
I forget. I
I
haven't
don't
seen that
remember.
movie in like 20 years.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
pretty good, but I didn't never really feel the need to rewatch it every year.
I wonder
Don't
how that
come at me,
aged.
please.
I wonder
Ah,
how that aged. I admit it
probably
might not.
fine.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It's
So
probably like the last time I watched Anchorman, I was like, it's fine.
this episode does, as much as I talk about the Twilight Zone, kind of like jettisoning a lot of 50s TV, because we have the sugar sweet ads at the end for other TV shows. This one
Hmm.
it is a bit saccharine. I mean, for a
Yeah.
Twilight Zone, especially, it hews to more like conformities of that time of television than a Twilight Zone typically does. Maybe
I
because
mean,
it's a Christmas episode.
like ordinarily I would feel a little bit jaded about it, but you probably couldn't. You'd probably, if Rod Serling was like, he's going to be dead at the end, they probably would have just been like, no, you don't get a Christmas episode this year, Rod Serling. They, like, there's no way. I mean, it would be like to do like a subversive, like upsetting Christmas episode was probably like just completely impossible.
Well, a few years ago when my daughter was younger, she was watching like this Hello Kitty cartoon on TV, right? And I think it was
Hmm.
around Christmas time. It wasn't distinctly a Christmas episode, but she gets some candle and looks to it and sees nice memories and stuff. And she's outside, like trying to find firewood or something, and she just keeps getting obsessed by the memories in the candle. And I was like, this is gonna end with her dead and frozen in the street. And then it
Oh.
ended with her dead and frozen in the street. I was like, what?
Wasn't,
The
didn't I
reason
read something like, sorry, go ahead.
you did it would turn out it was like based on like a European folktale or something. I just happened not to know. So
Huh.
it ends that way. It's like a grim. I don't know if it's a Grimm's tale, but it's that like it's a disturbing children's story. And they made the kitty and they gave it they didn't give it a Disney ending, I guess. So
Isn't it something like Hello Kitty's original intention was to parody stuff that Japanese people were obsessed with, and it just turned into another thing that Japanese people were obsessed with? Am I
um
imagining that? Or is
you
it
might
like the cat isn't a person, it's a person with a cat suit on? Like
oh
Hello Kitty is a person?
that's one 1977 because they put whatever date the product was made in 1977. So
Hmm.
so it's of your vintage, that kitty.
Huh. Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm the kitty.
Maybe you're the kitty. No, they said something like she's a British schoolgirl or something, and she's not a cat. But that doesn't make any
Cool.
sense. So it was
That's why she
something.
died.
Honestly, I think someone was getting hammered over at Sanrio, and maybe put out that bit of info just to rile up the folks. They say
I
any
mean,
there's no bad
Snoopy pretty
press.
much, yeah, Snoopy pretty much occupies the same space, and Snoopy was definitely not supposed to be the
Oh, and then,
star of
right.
1950s Peanuts.
Yeah, Sanrio, they have lots of characters. So, I don't know if Kitty. I don't think Kitty could have been the first. I don't remember, but we have what I don't know if they make in the states, but like My Melody or things like that. There's like a Moon and Star Kids or something. So there's a
Uh,
frog. The frog I've seen in America. I don't remember his name, but yeah.
I went to there's a whatever anime store out at North Point Mall that I went to the other day with friends of mine, and they had like a Gudetama that was just like lying down, and you squeezed it, and it was like, I'm tired. And I almost bought it. It was like $30. I was just like, no, I can't do this. You could also get like a $13,000 Snorlax that was like the size of a huge person.
Well, you would have found it in this bag of gifts probably for you.
Yes,
Santa. Yeah.
for
Although
sure.
when he first goes in the bag, I was like, the chances are that thing's gonna be filled with dead rats and prostitutes.
Yeah, it would be like anything. It would be super fun to just like he just goes up to somebody who's like secretly a psychopath and it's just like, I want a knife. And he just takes the knife out and robs everyone for the presents.
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be like a raw part of town, even for yeah, right?
They could have tucked that in, like it could have been a guy robs everyone and then runs out into the street and a car hits him and then the episode just continues as if nothing happened.
People are just having small talk on the streets. Um,
Ah!
or even worse, maybe the episode shifts to Dundee. Should we talk about Mr. Dundee?
I was gonna say that there have been an awful lot of car accident, people getting hit by car because they ran out into the street in Twilight Zone so far. But go ahead. Yes, Mr. Dundee.
I mean,
What a jerk. It's like
yeah, he's
another jerk boss is another Twilight Zone tradition.
right. He's one of the more punchable ones. Like the guy in Willoughby, I guess you kind of want to scream back at him. That's the point, right? Whereas this guy, you just want to like sucker punch.
Yeah, the Willoughby guy was sort of like I it's like I kind of he just seemed kind of pushy,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
literally.
more the kind of thing where that's more the kind of thing where if that's your boss, I feel like Willoughby the pressure was more for the guy to just keep his job.
Yeah. But this guy is just like,
This guy
what?
is also kind of
He's
messing up a lot.
he's too
Like
smug. Is that it?
I I don't know, he's just honestly he has a point. Like he's like you're too drunk to be Santa Claus, get out of here. I mean the part where he goes over the edge is when he's like trying to make the police give him 10 years in prison. Where he's like, "Can you give him 10 years?" Like that is way over the top, especially on Christmas. I mean, come on, dude.
He should be like, can you give him 11 months?
Be like, okay, can you just try and not hit his head in the paddy wagon? Can you try not? Can you try not tasing him? I guess they have tasers in 1960, but
I did make a note here though that Saint Nick up the river sounds like a fantastic upscale restaurant. you
yeah,
know,
it's a Riverside restaurant that only opens for Christmas.
right? And yes, that's it. Hey, that's something. Somebody can use that plan probably. It'd have to be like, yeah, some river space. It's maybe not too valuable though.
But
Hey, isn't
Percival
there that?
Smithers. Sorry, go ahead.
Isn't there still like a decaying, falling apart like Christmas land somewhere in the mountains of North Georgia or North Carolina or something? Like a theme park?
Uh, I think I've heard of this. Maybe I know there's a Wizard of Oz one.
I think it
It's
might
in
be the
like
same place. Like they tried
North
to
Carolina.
yeah, I think they might have I think it might be the same place. So yeah.
I think they let people go there once a year, but
But it is
not
falling apart.
bad.
it's not like a real thing anymore, right? It's not a functioning park. But yeah, they do let people
No.
go occasionally because that's when, well, it's not urban, but the abandoned space sort of exploration. That's a fun YouTube rabbit hole to fall into. The weird
Santa's Land, is that it?
that sounds like it. Yeah.
Christmas Town. There's so many. There's a bunch that do exist.
Oh, okay. I think this is the one that was. I think also the Wizard of Oz one, but yeah, just one of the weird little strange you can follow, I guess. So anyway, you could build your Saint Nick up the river there.
Yes, for sure. I'm just gonna build a theme park that's only a tribute to this episode, where a drunk man comes and pulls things out of a sack that you want.
Hey kid, you want something from the sack?
Yeah, there's like homeless people everywhere. That's like the
Every
show. The show is that like a guy asks for a wacky thing and it comes out of the sack. It's like, wow, I
so
wanted left-handed scissors and here they are.
since we're in such close proximity to this other episode, would you prefer a most unusual camera or a most unusual bag?
Hmm. Let's say most unusual bag.
Okay, yeah, the camera wasn't that useful. I don't know if you watched that one yet or not, but
We'll just say that for the sake of argument that I have.
yeah. Anyway, just it's just one of those things where I noticed like where Rod uses kind of like the same phrase like 2 weeks in a row because this one they mentioned it to a most unusual bag. So, what was there was several weeks ago the phrase Mortal Kombat was in like two episodes. So it's just like that's just like what's on your mind at the time. I get it. They didn't have Blu-rays to pour over at that time, so people wouldn't have noticed as much. But
Johnny Cage, a
but
man who will soon finish that. God, I'm just trying to.
I I
So
could
yeah, go ahead.
I couldn't have gotten as far as Johnny Cage, so yeah, you can give
What?
yourself 1 point. I don't
Johnny
remember
Cage is like
anyone's.
It's always random.
Yeah,
I
so I don't
think
remember I just remember Sub Zero. That's all I remember from Mortal Kombat.
I like learned two or three moves of Sub Zeros and almost nothing of anyone else.
That's because that's the only name people remember.
There's
Is
too
there a
much
Scorpion?
homework.
Do you have a Scorpion
Yeah,
in Mortal
yeah,
Kombat? Okay,
Scorpion.
I
He's the
remember
guy who
that too.
goes, "Come here."
It's been 25 years since I even tried to play Mortal Kombat, so yeah.
The new ones are really good, and they've turned the fatalities into this thing where like they're like absurdly, completely, insanely violent. You see like the insides of X-rays of stuff to the point where all the developers who made the recent one like gave a bunch of interviews to an expose about how they were all like traumatized and nightmares.
That's cool.
So yeah, you should play it. It's good. People
Okay.
suffered.
Um.
So anyway,
I'm
Percival Smithers, that was fun.
Oh, that stood
That was
out for
some
sure.
very effective comedy.
Yeah, yeah. So I do wonder if The Simpsons was referencing this in a way because I can't think of too many other Smithers.
I don't think it was just like a really tight. I don't know. That kid and his mom were just really effective, tight comedy. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, you can't
And
have a on-screen Santa without having a few horrible children.
he said he wanted a
Well,
new
mall
front
Santa.
name. I had to look up what front name was because I've never heard that term before.
First name?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess
That's
you
what
just said front name sometimes when you're in the
he,
North in the
well,
60s.
he's like 7. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You think that he? Do you think he messed up the line? It's like,
Maybe.
uh, look, you're supposed to say first name. Yeah, don't worry about it. Nobody will notice.
But we got to get this done fast. In fact, we're shooting this
Get,
on video. This is I
get
think
out of
I
here, kid. Here's your 30 cents.
yeah, I
Get
guess we did.
lost.
I think maybe last week. Again, I record these slightly out of order, so I haven't recorded last week's yet. But
Mhm.
um, this is one of the 6 notorious episodes on video, um, videotaped. Did that stand out to you?
It did look a little cheap. I don't know.
Yeah,
I sort of thought maybe that was just a season two thing, but yeah,
it is a season 2 thing for 6 episodes.
interesting.
They thought they could save money by shooting it on videotape instead, and they didn't save as much as they thought, and they looked terrible, so the experiment ended. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
I
for
always,
sure I'm
I'd
watching it
heard
on a
about them.
higher
I'm like,
resolution
Exactly. It's like on the 60s, when you still have to degauge your screen, maybe it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. But yeah, now you can definitely, you're watching the Blu-rays, you can tell. Anyway, in chronological watching time, for me, this is the first videotape episode I watched, and it did stand out. And last night I started watching The Lateness of the Hour, which I think airs before this, but yeah, that one too. Although I did notice, like, somehow since it is on video, like the movement seems more modern in a weird way. The quality is definitely crappier, but the way they move is, I guess we're more used to seeing that kind of movement on more recent television. So
Maybe we've seen a lot more stuff that's shot on video.
oh yeah, there's the '80s, every '80s sitcom, right? So I guess that's kind of
Mhm.
jarring where the movement looks like a little more like something like that, right? Which is, yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's kind of a subtle thing, right? But I just thought I should bring it up since we're now on the notorious videotaped episodes.
I did
And so
not know that.
several of them being quite good. I mean, this one's not bad, right? It's just like I
No.
said, it's just a bit of cotton candy, really. So, um,
Yeah, if you're gonna cut corners, probably good to do it with the one where you're not gonna like make anybody dead.
yeah. So in this episode, who went into the Twilight Zone?
Percival Smithers. Nah, just kidding. It was
Mhm.
Santa Claus.
You
Real
mean
Santa Claus.
Mr. Corwin?
Mr. Corwin, the real Santa Claus now.
I think this one could be the Twinkle Zone though.
Twinkle Zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
What about Dundee got the nice bottle of liquor that he requested, right? The vintage bottle.
I'm gonna say that Dundee would enter the Twilight Zone if he noticed that Corwin was gone and wondered why he was gone after this. But I don't think that's going to happen.
He really doesn't care. He's
I
that
don't think he
he probably
cares.
he
I think
probably
he cares
assumes
more
that
about
he's
the
dead
brandy
in the
than he
gutter.
does. Yeah, I think he cares more about the brandy, free brandy, than he does about Corwin's life.
Look like pretty nice brandy. So, um, I guess let's start with two questions. Then I'll split that second question to like A and B. The first one is, did Mr. Henry Corwin deserve his trip into the Twinkle Zone?
I'm going to say yes. However, you notice that the elf was like, "We got to get going. We got a lot of work. We got a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
hard work. A
yeah.
year of hard work."
She seemed a little bit. She was the Twilight Zone, wasn't she? I was like, something. She's not telling him something. Like
You
he's gonna be
notice
chained
that
to the toy bench.
the thing that makes him happy is giving people stuff. He doesn't have to do anything to give people stuff. The bag just makes it. So what are they going to work on? Yes, but he left the
Toys.
bag, didn't he? Didn't it show the bag at the end?
He's got a whole North Pole now.
Do you think he has to go make another bag?
It takes a year to make a bag.
Whatever it is, yeah, I'll go ahead and say he's probably in a better place and he probably deserves it because he's
Okay.
a really articulate drunk who cares about people.
But now I'm not quite sure because that elf. I did mean to bring that up a little earlier. Something was a little off about her. So,
Oh
yeah.
man. What if he just went to hell like a bunch of the other protagonists we've had in this show? He just he just went to whatever a nice place to visit.
You
Like,
thought
what am I
giving
doing in this casino?
you gave away too many things.
Whoops. Well, listen to these in order, kids.
Should Dundee, Mr. Dundee, have gotten a bit more of the Twilight Zone in his life? Maybe he deserves to get, kicked in the head a few times.
I think he deserves for the brandy not to be good.
That's his Twilight Zone. He takes a sip and he's like, tastes like
It's like,
gasoline.
this doesn't taste like what was it like a specific year? It's like this doesn't taste like 1935 brandy. This tastes like 1940 brandy. This is pathetic. And then, he's just upset for the entire rest of the season.
Hey, this is just urine
Ugh.
because I got it from
It just turns back into a tin can.
at midnight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is soup. I didn't want soup.
We could have punched up this episode, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, but nobody would have. I'm just making a pretty safe assumption that like you couldn't get anything more like risky than this on TV during Christmas about Christmas. And I bet it was probably easier to do something weird with Christmas like 50 years earlier. As at this point, it was probably like,
Yeah, we watched that, didn't we?
Coca-Cola Santa was, yeah, what oral hygiene.
Yeah, we did that one from what 1904, which had
Hmm.
another drunken Santa.
Yeah, but it was honestly like more gritty and realistic than this was.
Yeah, because it had all that like that the
But like
domestic strife and stuff.
I know I said this last time we did kind of a nice episode. I think it was Mr. Beavis, but it's like I think it's kind of nice when Rod Serling is just like, just enjoy this nice person having good things happening to them.
We're gonna
It's
screw
just
your
like
brain up next week.
that's part, yeah, of course. But it's like that's part of the thing is that I think it's not only that he's sort of just proving that he's generally a nice person, but also that you can't always have everything messed up and everyone die, or else you're just going to expect it and then it's boring.
True.
Like both of
Um,
those things are true.
let's throw this onto the tripometer then. 0 to 5.
I'm going to give this a 2.9.
That's okay. I was thinking low. I was gonna get well actually I wanted to just give it a ho. But really I'm thinking 1.52 because I'm like Christmas lights are trippy, but this is in black and white. I don't feel like there's much trip here. But you have at least a point more than me, so
Well, you have a
there's that.
bag that is generating items based on the whims of people in front of the bag, and then a man just goes and leaves. He just leaves in a flying sleigh with reindeer. That's pretty trippy. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say, "Oh, I've seen that 100 times before," and you have. However,
It's
that's
still
trippy.
trippy.
It's trippy, given that this is the premise that this doesn't exist in this world, and then it does.
Okay, then I should
I mean,
get snarky
good.
and back into my ho
You should
ho
go
ho
lower. Go
rating for this
lower. Make it
episode.
1.2 now.
It's ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
That's my triple meter rating for this one,
Okay. I
which
thought
does
about
have
giving it a
3 0.
2.5 because Christmas is
Yeah.
25th, but I thought that was pretty lame, so I just decided to go
Okay.
2.9.
Well, you said I should also lower the numeric score, and ho 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 in numerology wise has 3 zeros in it.
Okay.
So in a way I lowered it as well. Hmm.
In binary, it's probably like 6 or something, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, 666. That was a different episode. That was the Howling Man.
I'm sure you have people who feel differently, but I prefer to disagree with scores just because that feels more genuine.
Oh yeah. If we just say, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking exactly what you did," there's not much to talk about, is there?
Yeah, I'm coming at it from the perspective of that, oh, Santa exists in a world where he doesn't exist, and then I'm sure you could look at this like, oh, of course Santa exists. Santa.
Yeah. So since this is a Christmas episode, I guess I should ask you what you're doing for Halloween.
Oh, I have an inflatable dinosaur costume.
How big? How much space does that take up?
I don't know, too much probably.
Okay. I
I
don't.
haven't
I
used
don't.
it yet.
I need to get on the Amazon or just reuse a costume. But at the moment the yen's so weak and I have an American credit card, like I think I told you before, like everything's like
Hmm.
40% off. So I should be
It's like a
able to get
magic
like a
bag.
fun
It's like
costume.
it's
It
like
is
a
a bit like
magic
a
bag
magic
that
bag,
generates money.
except you only get like 40% of it, right?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the bag in the episode mostly was just making like scarves.
Yeah, it was a pretty low rent bag, I guess, when you get right down to it. Like
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't have enough
budget
props
for
money
this
in the props
episode.
department to be like,
They're
I would like a gold pair of spectacles.
they were already shooting on videotape on sets they've used before, so I guess there's that.
Yeah. I would like 10 meters of film. Absolutely not. The bag cannot make that.
No, the bag could not make that. This is on videotape. um, this is Time Enough Podcast or Time Enough Pod on Twitter and Facebook You can talk to us, say weird things to us if you want to. We do a bunch of podcasts on Patreon under the umbrella of Podcastio Podcastius. You can support this one, keep the lights on for $1 a month or something like that. We also talk about sci-fi films at Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary, and we mentioned oral hygiene. And there are some ones about video games for you gamers, Pokemon, Monster Hunter, um, screaming at each other about games. Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Screaming at each other,
About
just
games.
like you do at Christmas about games. I also like to say shout out to Woody Trend, president of my fan club. You
Shouting it.
send him money through an envelope to get us to get a signed 8x10.
No, you just became incoherent. I'm not even sure what you're
No,
doing there.
you're not in on the joke.
Okay, cool. Left out for
Left out for
Christmas.
Christmas. Ho ho ho.
Okay, that should do it. No, I
Yeah,
mean even what you
I
were
just
trying to
have a
say,
friend.
you just
I have a
started
friend at
cracking
work
up.
who no, it's like I have a friend at work who started listening to the podcast and he just keeps talking about how he wants to be president of my fan club
Oh, okay, cool. No, you just start giggling halfway through, so even what
because
you
it's
were trying
funny.
to say didn't come through. Yeah.
Because thinking about the whole thing is very funny, but it doesn't matter.
I've been laughing all week about the name Tuck Fard, so that's
What?
gonna be
What the fuck is that?
that's gonna be my detective novel.
Okay, cool.
I want to write a fantastic book. Like it's gonna be the best novel ever, but everyone's gonna have just fucking horrible names, and they all have to introduce themselves like James Bond. My name's
Nice.
Fard, Tuck Fard.
I was like writing a song, and I don't know if it's gonna stay like this, but I wanted to write a song called League of Serpents, and all the lyrics are just about how like I really need to go see the League of Serpents, but I keep being late and I can't make time to go see League of Serpents.
Is that a movie?
And they'll be upset. No, I made it up.
Okay.
I just thought it would be funny if I
What are
was
the
just
other?
like I made something up and it sounded like it would be all scary, but all the lyrics are just about me like not making it to the League of Serpents.
The name. The name's Buka. Sam Buka.
God.
Femme
My
Femme
name's
Fatale. I'm Jaka. Farah
Raspberry
Jaka.
Raspberry Brandy.
Be fun
God,
too.
brandy is disgusting. I can't believe
Yeah.
people used to drink brandy on the regular. It's so fucking gross. Maybe I've never had good brandy, but I was like,
That might be the case. Good brandy's not bad. Cognac, that's kind of like the refined version, I guess.
yeah,
I
but I
don't
don't
know.
even know if I've had cognac like without mixing it.
Okay. What were the other horrible names? I think I had a few other horrible names. Anyway, those are the three winners, I think, in the that I want just a fantastic novel with the worst names ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've been for a while just using like nonsense names, or if I have to sign up for something where I don't want to actually like use my real name for it, I'll just be like Glort
Oh,
Blungelston or something like that.
you can start using Tuck Fard.
Blog is never it's I always try to use something that sounds like conceivable but also completely absurd, like Glorb Hubixin or something like that. I've used that for
Mm. You
Blurg
Sambuca.
Sambuca, but that still has actual any meaning at all. It's not like bling longer than
You want alien. You want like green slimy
I just
alien names.
I want like stroke. I'm having a stroke names.
Hello, my name is. Nice to meet you.
But I mean,
Like
I don't
that.
know. That's pretty much the same shit that Justin Roiland does for Rick and Morty, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to get your names because I have little kids I teach, right? And there's an ABC puzzle sometimes, and I'll have them tell the color of the letter they want. They'll start putting them on the ground. Then they'll like make me pronounce whatever they put on the ground, and I
Hmm.
can't read or write, so I'm just like, okay, that says yeah, They seem pretty amused by that though. So,
Uh,
if they give me a consonant vowel combination, it makes sense. It's like magical. So,
that was like one of those things that got me interested in podcasts. Is just one of the podcasts that I like would regularly listen to. They would just, if there was a name where it was like Jack Drillman, they would just always just say it like that and kind of laugh about it, and that was just like half of the fucking joke. It's like everyone can come together to laugh at a strange sounding name that might be slightly suggestive or
right.
not.
Yeah, I got a shout out on another podcast where they decided to try and pronounce my last name. I was like, maybe you
Hmm.
probably shouldn't have. But anyway, thanks for the sentiment. That was nice.
Do you
But
like are you to the point where you don't correct people? Because that's where I am.
yeah, basically.
I don't if anyone tries to pronounce it, I'm like, you're right.
Well, I
I
think I
know
told
I will know who you're talking about if you say Malek, Milik, Milok, whatever. I'll know what you're saying.
was, from the introductions and stuff. I don't even bother with my last name anyway. So why would anyone know how to say it? I've been turning more into Matthew again because that's what it says on my Zoom. I think I tried to change it
Hmm,
once and it didn't change. So, but I'm like, well, it's
weird.
still my name, so whatever. Well, because people who podcast thought they look at the Zoom and just read it from the Zoom, right?
Well,
Because when you talk to different people all the time.
when the call starts now, it says some Japanese stuff after your name too.
Oh, really? It doesn't on mine.
Hmm.
Huh.
It
Okay.
doesn't like right now, but it start like when I'm waiting to be let in. It's like Matthew Cummidges, and then it probably says Matthew Cummidges or something,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Probably.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
I don't I don't join these calls, so I don't know how that works.
Hmm. I don't know. I'll try and screen cap it next time.
Okay. Well, no, because I zoom into the company meetings because I'm at the other school, and it's like that on my iPad. So I know what you're talking about. I'll
Man,
just use the same one down there.
I was thinking about trying to visit again in 2025 and then just like try and learn some Japanese by then because I was like the Osaka World Expo is in 2025 and it's like basically a continuation of the World's Fair.
Oh, that's
I've never
fun.
been to a World's Fair, but then, well, for one thing, there was a World's Fair going on when I visited you the first time in 2005,
Mm,
which sucks because we could have sort of done that, but man, Osaka's fucking far away from you. Holy fucking
it is.
shit.
Yeah, it's pretty far
Holy
away.
fucking shit.
Keep in
Yeah, I
mind,
was like,
a World Expo is nothing like a World's Fair. They don't do
yeah,
those anymore.
it probably
I'd say,
wouldn't be probably wouldn't be fun. It definitely wouldn't be even if it was like a World's Fair with a bunch of flying shit, it wouldn't be worth traveling like an entire day to get there, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like I couldn't even find train directions.
I feel like the Olympics kind of had the same vibe as that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Not
well, I was
here, but
originally
in
gonna
Atlanta.
I was originally gonna try and go visit for the Olympics, but that
Nobody
didn't
went to the
happen.
Olympics.
No, I would have just gone and been segregated into a pod or something like that with other Americans, right?
Yeah. Well, at that point in time, they wouldn't even let you in. So
Well, I'm sure I deserve it.
I think it's still, I think it's still pretty difficult. They still have like a cap, and I don't know if, oops, sorry, I don't know if you still
Mm.
have to be on a guided tour if you visit or what. But yeah,
That's why 2025 felt realistic, but
right,
who
yeah.
fucking
So
knows? If I continue along this career path where I make a shitload of money to not do anything, then it'll be pretty feasible to do it in a year or two.
there you go. Well, that sounds like a good career trajectory.
Yeah, I make a shitload of money to barely do anything, and also I like just I'm not really working for most of for some of the time that is on my time card. So it's like I'm not even there for 12 hours, but I'm getting paid for 12 hours. So like whatever.
Oh, that's
That's just
great.
what happens.
Yeah,
Film
yeah, yeah.
industry is bullshit and you just say things, and they even said at one point like, "Do you want to just become this other position?" And I was just like, "I don't know. I don't know how to do that." And I think they just were like, "Nah," but yeah, the whatever, man. It was bought a Peak, pretty cool.
Yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah.
bought a programmer for my Roland synth, the one that doesn't have any knobs, and I'm gonna try and sell both of those as a set, make a ton of money,
Mm,
hopefully.
there you go. That sounds jolly.
or keep it, which should be a stupid, but you know,
I don't know. It's nice to have an
eh.
arsenal of things that make noise. I still have my not microcord, but the K oscillator is still down there. I mean, I got it on my
Mm.
iPad. I don't even need a real one, you know?
I have the Chaos Pad Quad.
Oh, that is a different animal,
It's an
isn't it?
effects. Well, I mean, it works the same way, but it's an effects processor.
No, yeah, I know what it is.
It's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. No, I played with one. I just settled on Chaos later because I like to just sit there and like trance out with it, which you can't do so much with a Chaos
Not with an
pad.
effects processor. Well, you know, because I have the launch pad to clip launch, I sort of can, but
I made a couple
uh,
really cool tracks with the Chaos later, but it's definitely not like a normal in my workflow sort of thing.
yeah, I actually made a sort of a DJ set for it, but I never really did anything with it. I think I sort of started trying to bother people with it at my friend's wedding, and they seemed kind of annoyed, so I just stopped because it was like a destination wedding, and it was just all running around. And I was like,
Is that what
everybody's
you
like,
do at
whatever.
destination wedding? Okay, that's cool.
Try to be a fucking annoying DJ when people are just trying to hang out and drink. I
Oh, sorry, you sent me a Facebook file, did you? Was that a plot thing or
think I sent you my notes.
Drive MS
Did
One?
I?
I don't know. Let me
Did I
click
send
on
you
it. Looks
something
like
else?
I don't know. Uh,
I think I sent you my notes.
it's
Not that
loading.
you
It's
really have to look at my notes because there's not really that much to this fucking episode, but
yeah. I didn't even bother to send you mine.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like it
One
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
Drive.
matter when it's like a whole fucking. You could write the plot to this on like a cocktail napkin,
It is
which is
taking
fine.
its damn time. Think something went wrong. It's like
Yeah,
all
that's what it
something
is.
went wrong.
Yeah,
You just sent me a something went wrong. Now it's
it
thinking
doesn't
about it.
matter.
Now I'm
So, like, I
curious.
guess the Wizard of Oz thing is now open like a few weekends out of the year.
Oh,
It
okay.
used to
That's
be open
cool.
one day a year, and now it says September. Looks like weekends in September. So that's crazy.
I'm still man, OneDrive is just like thinking on this. Okay, your notes finally came up, but
OneDrive kind of sucks, I think.
yeah,
Like,
I use Google Drive. I don't know if it's any better, but
I mean, I use that for work, so I just try to keep work and non-work separate because I have a bunch of clouds.
okay, there we go. I got your notes there, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe I think if you have a few moments somewhere, just record like a plot description for that fourth prisoner.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll do
and I
that.
should get to actually. I don't think we said anything in there that's particularly of the moment, so it doesn't really
No,
matter when they start coming out. So like
yeah, we were
we're not like, hey, did you hear about the news this week?
no, well, we were doing it from the start, like we weren't sure when it was gonna air. So I at least tried to.
Yeah, yeah. So because I mean, anyway, the point is we could probably uh once I get that done, I'll feel more like doing the fifth, I guess.
Cool.
But maybe because I'm not quite sure when my schedule. I think next week there might be. I might have some time next week. Yeah, my
Hmm.
my Luke's off to the UK for 2 weeks, so
Shit.
I'm
Is he
most
going
of
to
the
bury the queen?
yes, he's going to urinate on the Queen. No, we did Freddy
I
versus
thought.
we did
Sorry, go ahead.
Freddy versus Jason yesterday morning with the guy we did Evil Dead with last year, Stuart,
Uh huh.
and they just spent the first 5 minutes like just like talking shit about the royal family.
Yes. Yes. I was like, I was looking forward to doing Dracula because I was just gonna like sort of just wink wink, be like, hey Luke, do you mind if I talk shit about the queen and talk about how Dracula she's Dracula or whatever? And just to get his reaction of delight because I'm sure that he was fucking
The
yeah,
pl-
feels
the plan is still to do that just after like because we were gonna do that Alien 2 thing with Andrew, but Andrew can't. Basically said I guess he's busy this month,
Alien
which means
2?
like
You mean aliens?
on Earth. No, I mean
Huh?
Alien 2 on Earth. Look that up. Alien
Oh, is it a
2
porn?
on Earth.
Is it a porn?
No, no,
Oh, is it
it's not.
Italian?
Yes.
All right. Hell
It
yeah.
is made in
That is
1980. So
wow.
you're gonna
Holy shit. 1 star on Google, 2 stars on IMDb. No, I didn't know anything about this.
because Alien is our first October one, right? So we're like, let's do Alien 2 the week after.
I do someone gave me this for Christmas and I haven't watched it yet, but I have
Hold on, I still
Cruel
have your
uh,
notes on the screen, not you. Okay, now you can show me what you're gonna show
I
me.
don't know where it is, so I can't hold
Okay.
it up. But Cruel Jaws. Are you
Mm-hmm.
familiar with Cruel Jaws?
Sounds weirdly familiar. What is that?
It's an Italian Jaws sequel that's unofficial.
Mm. So
I
yeah,
think probably the same fucking deal. This
yeah.
was like 1995.
No, way after. Okay, so that's cool.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
way after, but still it's like apparently like hilarious.
Anyway, because we
The
didn't.
first I'm looking at the IMDb page. First thing under the goofs says sometimes the shark is clearly a dolphin. First thing under quotes says we're going to need a bigger helicopter.
That's good. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start doing. So we did think about doing the Mockbuster month, where we go to the
Yeah.
convenience store and get the like Transmorphers and stuff, and do those
There's
movies.
there's like a Star are you familiar with like there's a Star Wars ripoff that's like Italian that's incredible
Oh
apparently?
yeah, yeah.
Do you know
And
what I'm
there's the
talking
corn.
about?
There's probably 10 of those. um, but
Someone
what's
told me
the other?
about it and I was like, "Holy fucking shit."
Oh,
Wait, Star
Apocalypse.
Odyssey?
No, no, Armageddon 2012. That's would be a mockbuster
Wow, oh
title.
God, that's like one of the Asylum ones, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Asylum is the big mockbuster corporation.
Oh,
Are they a
there's also
corporation?
Turkish Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah.
So Star Odyssey, I think, is the one that I was told about, but I haven't seen it. I've
Okay.
seen
Well,
Turkish Star Wars and it's boring as shit, but
yeah, that's the
it's
problem with the Turkish
funny.
ones. You just watch a few seconds here and there and like, oh, that's so whack, but you wouldn't sit there and like actually watch it, you know?
It's like
You
a
should watch
boring version of some 60s shit, basically.
you should watch the holiday special though. Put that at
Yeah.
the top of your list because Carrie Fisher's really high through the entire thing, and Harrison Ford clearly doesn't want to be there. It's great. And Mark Hamill, they put like a ton of makeup on him to make him like a pretty boy or something. It's weird. I don't know if he hadn't quite had his accident yet, or that was like after he had his accident. They were trying as hard as they could. I'm not quite sure.
I definitely for what it's worth, I definitely believe that that fingernail Carrie Fisher's long fingernail in the fucking Empire is definitely a drug thing.
Oh yeah, I assume that was a yeah. I already assumed that. Sure. I
I
think
think
she
she
even
went on
said that,
record as saying like no, I think she went on record as saying that it wasn't, but
but she was really high.
I mean she died high,
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
unfortunately. I mean it's sad. I think I choose to believe that she died high because Disney made her lose a bunch of weight.
Wasn't she on a plane? I thought that's what you were referring
Yeah.
to.
I mean
Okay.
she yeah, that no, I was referring to that they did an autopsy and there was a bunch of drugs in her blood.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were just being cheeky about the fact that it was on a plane.
No, it's much sadder than that, but
Okay, too bad. Anyway, yeah, you should watch the holiday special because that's a good one. I, the lineup for October then. We still want to do Dracula. We're just gonna wait till he gets back. It's
Ooh,
good now. Instead of Alien 2, it's Alien, Event Horizon, Dracula, and Freddy versus Jason. And we've recorded all of
nice.
those except Dracula. So
Damn, I love those are some good fucking movies.
now I'm
Like Event
thinking
Horizon is maybe Event Horizon isn't good anymore, but it was good the last time I watched it.
it's not a good movie, but it's certainly something
Mm.
to talk about. Who is our guest for Event? Oh, that's where Henrik is for Event Horizon,
I
and
feel like you guys have a few people to pull from for that
and
because
then
just
and then Alien was Jessica, who's done a couple of the Twilight Zone ones, Monsters on Maple Street and After Hours. So she came in to
cool,
Alien with us.
cool.
And then,
Yeah,
as I said, Freddy versus Jason, same guy as Evil Dead last year. So, obviously we go on insane tangents quite often.
yeah, that guy was fun. I
So,
love Freddy vs. Jason. I think it's like the second best Freddy movie, probably
so,
third
so
best.
somehow we get into some weird conversation where I may be the fourth member of Destiny's Child.
Okay. I just want to talk shit about the Queen with British people.
Yeah, yeah, okay, we can make that happen. But yeah, he's
I
rolling
mean,
back to.
it'll happen naturally. We don't have to force it.
No, no, you could. I think no. I guess you thought we had canceled that, and we're just postponing it. So, well, the
No, I
point
didn't
is,
think I you told me you were postponing it. I knew you were postponing it.
oh, okay,
I just wanted to talk shit about the Queen like now.
right,
Like
okay,
right now.
yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
All the good jokes are going to be all the good jokes are already almost taken at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, I'm sure you can
It's all
still.
good.
Yeah, it won't be. You took. Well,
It's
we
not
end up.
my place to shit on the Queen. It's Luke's place.
I think the shitting was more on Prince Andrew for that podcast yesterday, but
Well,
that's
he deserves it.
exactly that's certainly warranted. They had some term for you know child diddlers I hadn't heard before. Some British version.
Pedophile. I think
No,
that's the
no, no,
British version is of pedophile.
no. It's slang.
Pedophile,
No, it's the slang version.
like potato fondler.
Um,
Just, I'm making shit up now.
you're gonna make me like try and like listen and remember what it was because I think they say it a couple
Potato
times.
fondler.
Let's see. Freddy versus Jason. I'm actually going to sit here. I don't know if you can hear the audio or not, but I'm going to check what it was because it was I not.
Good question.
I don't think I'd heard it before. I've never tried to play the audio file while zooming. I don't know how this works. My computer's still thinking at the moment. Oh, here comes my media player. Especially running Zoom, my computer gets into a cranky old man.
Yeah.
So I'm playing other podcast on a podcast recording. Is that
Meta.
yeah? If it might not
This
play
is what the
actually.
Patreon content you should just pull from right now, where you're trying to listen to another podcast on this podcast in order to tell the podcast guest what the other podcast guest said was slang for pedophile.
There it is. Can you hear that?
Nope.
Okay. I'm, I'm looking for it. Hold on. There we go. I got it. Nonce.
Nonce. Okay.
He said an infamous nonce.
Okay.
Nons, something like that.
Nonce.
Anyway, it was new to me because I mean like what the fuck are you saying, man?
Mm,
Because
cool.
he's being cheeky, but I didn't follow because he was speaking English for a bit there, I guess.
Well, you know, you just have to immerse yourself in it just like Japanese, and soon you'll learn.
Well, what I did was like, okay, I'm gonna let the two British guys just like, you know, rip apart the royal family for 5 minutes and not say much myself.
Yeah, you don't have to culturally appropriate that. I mean, I think for most people, you don't have to really,
It was
you don't
like
have to really prompt
these
them or
guys can do it
help
without me,
them.
just fine, you know. But okay, I guess I'm gonna roll off then. So like I said,
Cool.
probably next week or the week after, just tell me any evenings that work for you because I think I only have the only podcast I have scheduled right now is like not this Sunday, but the next Sunday. And I'll probably be doing the next Disney one at some point too, but I'm still pretty open at the moment.
Well, the show I'm working on is sort of going into its whatever wrap. It's going into the final countdown. So I think it's going to be pretty chill. And then at some point, the job's going to end, and then another job will begin sometime in the future. So probably early October, I'm going to be like super, super duper available.
Okay. But anyway,
But, you
rest
know,
of
yeah, but I'll try
September.
and make, yeah, I'll try and make time like weekly or bi-weekly.
Okay, probably like I mean I guess if you want to do the next prisoner or do an oral hygiene, I guess I'll leave that in your decision making bundle.
I mean, it'd be cool to go back to the prisoner just to remember,
Not
you
to
know what I
lose
mean?
the not
To
to
not to
lose
lose
the
the
train of
feeling of,
thought.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's the thing to do. So anyway, you just get back to me
Oh,
what looks good to you. So
yeah, and my friend, my boss, also, I was like, you should do a Twilight Zone episode. He's like, I don't know, he's been on other podcasts. He's one of those like Disney obsessed people. So he's been like on Disney documentaries and shit.
okay.
He'd be
What
fun to
was
talk to at some point.
What's
I'll
the
just
name?
his name's Nick Morgan.
I'm just
You
he
might have
might
met him. I was hanging out with him pretty close to when you moved back to Japan.
has he done any books?
I don't think so.
I just feel like I'm picturing a cover that I mean it's not the most standout name, is it? But
I mean, he's mostly been doing film industry stuff. He's a accomplished magician. He he did like a ton of magic tricks for the Carbonara effect.
how old is he?
I think he's like 43 or 42.
Okay.
Like you might have met him in like 2009 or something. I just don't really know.
Yeah.
We did
Anyway,
spook shows together.
I'm probably thinking of something different here. So, which would I assume was probably the case anyway. Just would have been amazing. Like, oh yeah, I know that, but that's not the case.
Nah, I feel like I would know if you wrote a book, but
Okay. I
you
don't know.
never, you never,
Some
you never
people
know.
might not tell you. Yeah. Dun, dun,
Mm.
dun. Okay. I'll catch you later then. Yeah, stop.
All right,
People are
cool.
still listening to this. If you're still listening, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Hey,
But now I'm
Merry
stopping.
Christmas
Give
if
me
you're
a
still
Christmas.
listening to this.